Sanam, what exactly brought us to this point?
Annette, to really understand the US-China relationship today, we do need a little reminder that this happens to be one of America's most successful foreign policies to date, an alliance that's been going on for almost 5 decades now, but one that a plethora of issues have been chipping away at, certainly over the recent months, and they include everything from allegations of technology theft to the issue of Hong Kong, to human rights violations, to Taiwan, the South China Sea, and of course the current coronavirus pandemic. And that list really does go on. But the core of this actually goes back to the beginning of the Donald Trump administration, when the Americans tried to walk away from the emerging transatlantic partnership. And so this would have very much been a kick in the teeth for Beijing, because according to John Bolton, that's the former national security advisor of Donald Trump, he'd actually begged for the help of President Xi Jinping during his presidential campaign. As a result of this, since both countries have had dialogue, they've maintained some level of relationship. There had been consulates, of course, that is no longer the case. But achieving agreements has really been a rare thing. So what does that mean? It means that what we're seeing with this latest move is that any channel of communication or dialogue is being cut off. There's a refuting of what the previous administrations of both Kissinger and Nixon, that 5-decade-old policy that I alluded to earlier, which they had achieved. And so also, China, for its part, because of its very aggressive behavior and its immense mishandling of this current pandemic, has been contributing, has been giving a cause to this.
So where exactly are US and Chinese relations heading, especially given that we're just, 100 days away from an American presidential election?
It's a very good question, Nat, because there are concerns that the two powers are reaching what we refer to as a point of no return, that there is a complete deterioration of relationship between the two. And that might even lead to, and this is the worst case scenario, military confrontation, conflict, because this is an era that's very much being shaped by voices from the most hawkish of personalities in both administrations. And we have seen this play out on a much smaller scale when we saw the crackdown on Chinese journalists in the US in a tit-for-tat move. Of course, we saw the expulsion of American journalists from China. So we know really how this plays out. And of course, observers are saying the United States, Annette, has the power at this moment in time to actually try and moderate, to reform the behavior of China, both at home and abroad, to try and bring China abroad so that it's actually cooperating on massive regional issues, North Korea, Afghanistan, even global issues like climate change, like non-proliferation. But people inside Beijing, and I spoke to one observer earlier, saying that that won't be the case because the US is simply threatened by China's rise as a major world power. Don't forget, both the IMF and the World Bank are saying that China could overtake US as the global economy by as soon as 2024.
Thanks for that, Sanam Shantyaei.